Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today, Sling TV offering a lifetime subscription to HBO, ESPN, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all these content for just $300 one-time fee. We'll tell you what's happening. This has been making the rounds online here in a minute with that. Also, most cable TV networks lost subscribers in 2024, I should say viewers in 2024. We'll break down just how bad some of these cable networks were impacted. These stories and a whole lot more coming up in a quick second. First though, if you want to learn more about any of these stories, I'll put a link to each story I'm about to talk about in the show notes and in the first pinned comment, so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinion. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button or hitting that thumbs up. We really do appreciate it because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so they recommend our videos to more people. With that said, let's dive into it. All right, the Sling TV box. Now this one has popped up quite a bit in the last week. I had a lot of readers ask about it. It's a new Android-powered streaming player that uses the Sling TV name and says for $300, $299.99, you can buy this box and get lifetime access to all the cable networks you want. Big surprise here, maybe. Dish says they have nothing to do with this, and it's not related to them at all. It seems to be another one of those boxes out there that's promising you through a variety of different streaming services that are less, sometimes less than legal. Well, some of these have not gone to court, others have, and have been shut down in the last few years. This one has not faced any. It'll be interesting though. It's called the Sling TV box. It's been targeted out there to not say they're owned by Dish, but using the Sling TV name, which is a Dish brand here. We talked to Dish about this, and say, hey, somebody's using this. They're saying it's a Sling TV box. People have been asking me, is this a real Sling TV product? Because Sling TV does offer their Air TV line of streaming players and DVRs over time. According to Dish, they have no relationship to this box. This box has nothing to do with them. Always be cautious of things that sound too good to be true. A lifetime subscription for just $300, including the cost of the hardware, to ESPN, NFL Sunday Ticket, HBO, Showtime, all this stuff should be a major red flag whenever you hear such a crazy excessive claims with this. A couple other things, be careful. Often these things will ask you to pay through something like PayPal. They'll use WhatsApp for customer service. There won't be a physical address with it to contact people for help. Always be doubtful if you're buying a product and you can't figure out where that company is located. There's no address listed for it. That's always a big red flag to consider. But as my grandma said, if it sounds too good to be, I'm sure we can all finish the rest of that sentence. Well, I'm not here to debate the legality of these different streaming services. What I will say is Dish says they have nothing to do with this and they're not involved in it. And I would caution you against any services out there where you can't find out who's behind it. Leave me a comment, let me know. I will say I kind of do wish that Dish would come out with an updated Air TV. The Air TV stream player from Dish connects to your antenna and it allows you to watch Sling TV both on that device and on others, with your locals from your antenna built right into it. It's a really nice feature. A, you get a lot more locals than you do through other streaming services, depending on where you live. I get 50 where I live with an antenna. But B, it just makes Sling TV, which is one of the cheapest ways to get things like ESPN and MSNBC and the others, with your locals at a very cheap price. All right, let's keep moving along at the next story. Most cable TV networks lost viewers in 2024, some losing over 50% of their viewers. Now, this comes from a Variety report. They went and they did all 100-some cable networks out there and looked at how much they went up and down. We took that data and we stripped it down and just looked at the networks that lost, and we ranked them by the ones that lost the most. We already talked about other stories that point out how much kids' networks are down. Teen Nick was the biggest loser. Maybe not a surprise here, as teenagers are increasingly moving away from cable TV to streaming services and YouTube and Twitch and all that. 53% of Teen Nick's viewers left in 2024. Nickelodeon was down 31%, Nick Jr. down 39%. Maybe it's why Paramount is pulling back their main focus from cable networks. Ratings like this: Disney XD down 44%, Nicktoons down 12%, Disney Channel down 17%. Interestingly, these are primetime ratings. Cartoon Network not rated because it's now airing Adult Swim during primetime hours for this. But let's look at some of the other networks. I have a question for people. Some of the biggest losing networks is Spanish-speaking language ones. I've had people suggest to me that there's a growing number of Spanish language streaming services that offer direct access to Spanish content from around the world legally at a far better price than getting cable, where you may get like a handful of Spanish channels, but you're paying for a lot of English ones you don't want probably. What's your thoughts on that? Why do you think that Spanish channels saw such a big drop, with many of them in the top 10 losers? But other big losers in the top 10, including Logo, VH1, Nick Jr., Showtime losing 38% of its viewership. With this, Nickelodeon, MTV2, FXX, TLC, OWN, American Heroes, NFL Network down 26%. I wonder how much that has to do with fewer Thursday night football games on the NFL Network over time. CNBC down 25%. This did surprise me a little bit. CNBC has always been seen as one of those safe networks because all the financial investors love it and would put it on there. BET down 22%. Outdoor Channel 23%. Golf Channel down 21%. Golf Channel is interesting. It's actually one of the more profitable channels, one of the more expensive channels, because they target a demographic that is highly sought after by advertisers. They're seen to have more disposable income, so it drives up revenue. ION down 16%, Comedy Central down 16%, and Antenna TV down 16%. There's over 100 plus channels that lost subscribers in 2024. If you want to find the full list, I have a link to it down there. I want to know, though, from you, which one of these networks jumped out at you most? It's no surprise in my mind that kids' networks are losing. I was surprised a little bit to see such a big drop in the Spanish-speaking networks with that. And of course, other networks like the Golf Channel, ESPN, many of the ESPN channels lost viewership. Others, ones you would think would be safe, were not. Interestingly, of the top 10 networks watched on cable TV, 7 of them are available free with an antenna. The others are sports networks and news networks. So, of course, CBS was the most watched network of 2024, followed by NBC, ABC, Fox, then Fox News, ESPN, MSNBC, Univision, Telemundo, and ION. Now, ION kind of surprised me a little bit. It jumped up to number 10. But of the top 10 most watched primetime networks in 2024, 7 of them are available free with an antenna, and the other 2 are sports and news. You've heard me say this many, many times. Increasingly, if you don't watch sports or news, why are you subscribing to a pay TV service? If you want Fox, ABC, the others, get an antenna. A lot of the other content is available the next day on services like Hulu, Max, Paramount Plus, and the like. I mean, most people are not watching it live anyways. They're DVRing it. So what's the difference? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. But get an antenna. I'll say this again. An antenna is one of the best tools for cord cutting that cord cutters don't use. I get over 50 channels with my antenna. All right, next up, the founder of HBO and AMC Network dies at 98. Charles Dolan, D-O-L-A-N. I apologize if I butchered that. Founder of HBO and AMC Networks and Cablevision, if I remember the right cable number one here. Let me scroll down and find that. Passed away this weekend at 98. It was known as Chuck, born in Cleveland in 1926. He entered the entertainment business, launching HBO in 1971 with that. Later launched Cablevision Systems in 1973, which was later sold off with that. And quite a pioneer in the world of cable. Now, even if you don't like cable TV, this is a person that had a big impact on how you watch TV today, and was being groundbreaking in the world of cable television. Cable on TV, period, has passed away. My condolences go out to his family. A true pioneer out there with the industry. And lastly, what is the best streaming player for cord cutting? We asked you, the readers and viewers out here, what you thought. And of your answer, maybe no surprise. Now, this isn't what you use. This is what you thought was the best streaming player for cord cutters. 51% of you said Roku. With that, does that surprise you? Roku's continuously dominated this, and with upwards of 70% of you saying you use it, 51% of you say it's the best one on the market. Does that surprise you at all? And then, there we go. I switched pages by mistake. Apple TV came in at just 15.2% in number 2, followed by Amazon Fire TV, very close behind it at 14.3%. And then I was a little surprised to see Google TV at 6.8%. I thought Google TV would be a little bit higher. It's been growing in market share, but I wonder how much of that is the low price of it. A lot of people have been upset with Amazon recently and some changes. They've been switching over to Google TV. What do you think of this list? Do you agree with it? Comes from you, the reader. You voted for it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Until next time, though, I'm going to wrap this up. We'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Take care. Be safe. I'll talk to you all again real soon.